everybody. Welcome to PHTV Channel 4 in Palos Heights. I'm Sue Jankowski, and we are here with the Travel Show. This is our monthly show where we give you lots to dream about and then actually go out and do. As always, we have our good friend Kathy Janes here from Class Act Travel in Worth.
Thank you very much.
Kathy.
Thank you.
Good to have you here today.
Nice.
As always.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yes, and I like being here. It's always fun because I learn along with everybody else on stuff.
Yeah, we
So
do.
it's even better
We do
yet,
learn.
yeah.
And if you don't get to all these places, at least you've gotten some information. You write it down on your to-do list, and then
Bucket list,
you
maybe.
get to do that. And today we have our guest, Sharon Pendergast from Globus Brands. So that is like kind of an umbrella, I think, for a couple of other brands. Welcome to the show today, Sharon.
Well, thank you so much, Sue. Thanks, Kathy, for having me. I'm actually from the South Side, so I feel like this is old home week.
Yeah,
I'm
it is.
really happy to be here. And
Good.
yes, I am from the Globus family of brands.
Good. Well, I know that, we've done our travel show for a few years, and I definitely have heard of Globus as being a really wonderful company to work with, and Avalon, again, very like nice upper end kind of way to travel, but that's about the extent. So I'm really going to be glad to hear about what kinds of trips you offer, and what do you specifically want to mention to our viewers today?
Okay, fantastic. Well, like you mentioned, we're with the Globus family of brands. And what the Globus has is not just the high-end luxury product, but we really cover all ends of the spectrum. And we have 4 brands. And the first brand, of course, is Globus, and that is our flagship brand. We actually were born 90 years ago. We had our 90th birthday this year. So we've been in business. Thank you. We've been celebrating all year. And we've actually been in business for 90 years, and that is where we started in Lugano, Switzerland. We're a family-owned company where the family would take their rowboat across Lake Lugano. And one rowboat went to 2 rowboats, went to 3 rowboats, and then into coaches. And now we have tours really around the world. And what Globus is first-class escorted touring. We have centrally located hotels, always have breakfast each morning. And then we have a variety of tours and other meals included. And start to finish, we just help you from picking you up at the airport to dropping you off at the end. So that's Globus, and it's more of our first-class touring. We also have another brand. It's our value brand, and that is Cosmos. And what Cosmos does is very similar to Globus. There's coach touring, but there's less inclusions. There's more time to really discover your destination on your own. And maybe the hotels aren't right centrally located. They might be like a little train ride away or things like that. So definitely something for people that want to tour maybe more than once a year. It makes it very affordable. And then some people don't like to go on coach tours. And I love one of our brands that's called Monograms, and that's for the more independent traveler. And what Monograms does is it's like having a bumped up concierge at your destination or a friend in destination. We meet you at the airport with a sign with your name and pick you up and take you to the hotel, get you checked in. And then the local host will make some suggestions for what to do that night. Some nightlife, where to eat dinner, but they'll advise you to be up the next morning because on your second day of a Monograms, you're always going to go on a city tour, and you're going to see all the must-see sites. And the way we're able to do that is we have what we call happy lines. And that's on whether it's Globus or Cosmos or Monograms. Because of the relationships that we've built over 90 years, we have privileged access to most of the destinations. So on that half-day tour, you're going to kind of skip the lines and go right to the front of the
Skip the
line.
sad line. We have to wait forever. Get over to the happy line. That's a huge benefit.
Exactly. When I was in Rome, the Pope was going to be speaking, so it was so crowded in the city, and there were lines and lines for a mile long to get into St. Peter's Cathedral, and we kind of went in a side entrance and just walked right in and got to see, so many of the Vatican museums and the Sistine Chapel and all those things in just a matter of a very short period of time. But they did allow us enough time in each spot, so we really got to see it in a different way than anybody else was doing after hours of waiting. So that's Monograms, where we have the local host that is going to plan your tours. If you want to add more tours, you absolutely can. If you're in destination for 2 or 3 days, we have many different options, but you may want to explore on your own. For example, when I was in Rome, I wanted to go to the Trevi Fountain, and I wanted to spend a lot of time there. I wanted to have lunch near the Trevi Fountain, so that's what I chose to do. And then later in the afternoon, I took a tour. On to another destination like Venice or Florence, we will get you right to the train station. Who knew there were several train stations in Italy, in Rome? So we're not only going to get you to the right train station, we're going to get you to the right track and get you on your way. And then when you arrive in Florence, there's going to be somebody from Monograms waiting to get you to your hotel too.
Oh, that is so wonderful, because when you're in a country where everything is in foreign language, and that fear of am I going to end up in the right place?
Exactly.
That makes your traveling comfortable.
Well, it feels like somebody's welcoming you to that city,
Right.
because you got somebody there
holding your hand a little bit.
Yes, exactly. Otherwise, you feel like, where am I going? And is that guy going to be okay, or is that going to be good? You get a little uptight about it.
That's great.
Yeah.
And the nice thing is that our clients are going to feel really comfortable with Kathy. They're going to go to Kathy, and she knows all about our products. She's done all the training. We've had many discussions about the products, but it's always nice to have somebody at home, somebody on this side of the pond that's looking after you. Of course, we're going to take great care of the clients, but I've always used a travel agent, and I highly recommend that clients do that. She's going to help them make the decision, what's the best choice for them. And then, actually, speaking of choices, our fourth choice is like the crown jewel, and this is our luxury product, and that is Avalon. And that's our river cruises. It's available, all over Europe. We have cruises in the Galapagos, cruises on the Mekong, the Rhine, the Danube, the Rhone, the Seine, the Main, many cruises throughout Europe. And that is really one of the most popular ways of traveling these days.
Okay, now what makes the Avalon trip so special?
Okay, gosh, there's lots of things. And Kathy is the expert. She's going to be the one that's really going to point the client in the right direction. We have several options. There are several cruise companies. Of course, I think ours is the best. And I can tell you a little bit about Avalon, but I think your best thing is to go to Kathy and find out, tell her a little bit about what you expect from your vacation, and she's going to point you in the right direction. Now, why is Avalon special? Just starting with the sizes of our cabins. Our cabins are 30% larger than the industry standard. The reason we're able to give the clients larger cabins is we have less passengers on board. So less passengers on board mean bigger cabins.
More comfortable too.
Yeah, it does. And there's more public spaces.
Yes.
And for example, everyone can fit in our dining room. If everybody wanted to go to dinner at the same time, we absolutely can accommodate that because there are less people on board. And the other thing, and this is a huge differentiator from all other cruise lines, is our open air balcony. And to just describe it to you, most cabins have 4 walls, and other river cruises, they have the standard size patio door to go out on a small veranda.
Called a French balcony.
French balcony.
Yeah.
So what we have is we took away that wall behind you in the balcony, and we pushed the windows to the edge, and we made the entire outside rim of the cabin, it's an entire wall of windows. So 2 of the windows slide into one, giving clients the widest view in river cruising. The biggest reason people go, and Sue, we talked about, or Kathy, we talked about this earlier, is many people love to go on river cruises because they only have to pack and unpack once. They can go from city to city and town to town, even country to country, without having to unpack. Well, that's on every river cruise, but on Avalon, people are going to see more of the world. They're going to see bigger views. That's what they're going for, is not only the ease of the going from city to city, but also the ever-changing view. And why not give clients the best view in river cruising?
Absolutely.
So many things about Avalon. I could go on and on, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
One thing that I do want to share, and it's not my own personal opinion, Cruise Critic, who is the guru, they're like, they've seen every river cruise, they've been on it, they've looked at every square inch. They have voted Avalon as the best cabins in river cruising, and that's for 3 years in a row, 2015.
That's excellent.
Thank
Be
you.
proud, honey. Be proud.
We are.
Yeah, that is just
we just
great.
heard about 2017, so 3 years in a row, 2015, 16, and 17.
Don't your beds also face that open?
Yes, that is another big differentiator with Avalon. Thank you.
That is just really cool, too. You can lay in bed and watch the world go by.
Well, now that is really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually angled the wall to turn the bed facing the view. You know, you wake up and you see 2,000 years of history floating by, but also that gives more room in the washroom. So it's a wonderful, beautiful marble tiled washroom with a nice big shower that is really great.
You mean it's not like this? Where you
No, it's
can't
not like this. If you drop the soap, you don't have to get out of the shower to pick it up.
Just forget it.
So it's, yeah, the beds facing the view is another big differentiator. And then 2019 has brought a lot of new things too.
Typically, I mean, I'm sure there's many, many rivers that Avalon cruises on, but what are a few of them that a viewer could look forward to seeing, or where would they go that they might be interested in?
Okay. Actually, the three most popular right now are the legendary Danube, where you sail down the Danube and go to wonderful destinations. I just was on a Rhine cruise where you start in Amsterdam and wind up in Wiesbaden at the end. I was on active discovery on the Rhine. And then the other cruise that is very popular, and especially this year with the D-Day anniversary, is the Paris to Normandy sailing. I was lucky enough to go on the Paris to Normandy last year, and it was just, you know, it has everything, you know, for the women that want to go shopping in Paris and see the Eiffel Tower and see all those iconic sites in Paris. It's wonderful. But then you spend a day going to Normandy, and it's beautiful and it's somber and it's wonderful, and you feel so proud to be an American because you see this massive cemetery. We went to the beaches where they landed, and there was so much devastation, and we went to the cemeteries, and one beautiful thing that Avalon does is they give you a flower that you can place on one of the graves of the soldiers. Cool. And it meant so much to me. I have a son who's in the military, and I was really proud of the way the French took care of the cemetery and really still thank us for everything that we did back in World War II. There's a lot of symbolism. You go around and the evergreens are cut short, and that's to symbolize so many lives that were cut short. So it's somber, but it's something that is so important. It's our history. It's really important to do and see, and I loved that cruise. I just went on active discovery on the Rhine, and I do want to kind of differentiate. We have two different types of cruising. We have classic cruises, where clients are going to see the must-see sites, and they're going to go with a local tour guide that's going to bring the destination to life. It's somebody that lives there and is really passionate about the destination, and they have that kind of touring. But we also have active discovery, and that is something new in the last couple of years. We had active discovery on the Rhine, active discovery on the Danube, and this year we've introduced active discovery on the Rhone. And on these particular tours, we have other kinds of touring. We have about 20% of the tours are the classic tours where you have the local tour guide, but we also have discovery tours. And 40% of the touring is going to be discovery. And by discovery, I mean you're going to really be engaged in the destination. You're not just going to see things at the destination, you're going to do things. Now, Sue, a couple things that I got to do while I was on active discovery on the Rhine that was engaging is I got to go to a chocolate museum. I went to a beer tasting. And Kathy, I think you'd like the wine tasting.
Ooh, yes, I would.
So lots of things where you're actually doing things. You're going to cooking classes and tastings. So that's the discovery end of it. And Kathy, you're going to be the expert that's going to be able to tell the customers which one might be the best cruise for them. Now, also on this cruise, we have active choices. And that's for the person that really wants to be, you know, in motion on their cruise. I'm not that type of person, but I did choose a couple of active tours. I did go on a hike through a vineyard in Germany. It was absolutely beautiful to see where these wonderful wines come from. And I also went on 2 bike tours. So there's so many active choices as well, running tours. We have stretching on board in the evening, so and in the morning sometimes. So there are choices. Not everybody wants to see the destinations in the exact same way. So what Avalon is doing is really giving people so many choices. Some of the destinations even have 5 different choices. So it's a little bit hard to
That is nice. So, you know, sometimes people have already seen the typical places, iconic structures and so forth that you go to Europe to see, and they kind of want to live it. So they are living it more with the active discovery. You're going in and you're actually doing things, and that's just a different aspect of the same place. So you could go back to the same place and have a totally different experience, it sounds like.
Exactly. You are like putting it in a nutshell what I wanted to say, actually. We have people that have been on the Rhine and then they go back and do active discovery on the Rhine. So you are 100% correct there. It's just a lot of choices. Avalon has many different choices, not just on the touring. There's other choices as well on board.
Okay. So actually, if you haven't taken a river cruise before, of course, Kathy can tell you about that, so you can have the experience of finding out more information about it. But there are a lot of advantages to that. Just like you said, it's sort of like being somewhere like on a tour bus, but you never have to get off, you know?
Right.
So,
That's a very good way to put it. Yeah, I
which
like
is,
that.
you know, it's kind of like annoying to like get on and off and on and off, and that's great too. And sometimes the tour
That's a good
where
way
you
to
want to
put
go,
it.
you
Yeah.
have to do that. But this is just wonderful, where you just unpack and you're done.
Exactly. And you know, the time that you have on board is just as important as your time offshore too. So the choices that you're going to have between active and discovery and classic is going to really make all three of us could go on the same tour. You know, we could get
see
together at
different
dinner,
things, right.
and we're going to have a completely different experience. So that's what's really nice about having those choices. And whether you go on one of our classic cruises, which has mostly classic touring, we're going to pepper in some active and pepper in some discovery. And then the active discovery cruises, of course, we're going to have some of the classic touring as well. And what makes that great is we have the multi-generational families that go on board the active discovery. You know, the late teens, kids maybe graduating from high school or college or medical school, they're going to be doing the running and getting on the bikes and doing things like that. Where myself and my husband, we would be doing the discovery. And if my mom came along, she might want to do more of the classic touring. So it's a little bit of something for everyone.
So on that same cruise, you can pick different aspects of it. It's not like this is an active discovery cruise and that's what you're doing. You're all doing something that's active. Am I right with that?
Well, on active discovery, what's neat is you don't have to stay on the same track throughout the cruise. It's going to be an active discovery cruise, meaning we're going to have more active and discovery options.
Okay.
But for example, on active discovery on the Rhine, I chose to go on 2 of the 3 bike tours. One of the bike tours, they said you really should be an experienced biker. So that to me was out. I have been on the exercise bike at the gym, but a regular bike I haven't been on in a lot of years. So I chose to go on one of the tours in Amsterdam, which is unbelievable because there's thousands and thousands of bikes, and you know, the safety of course is number one, so they take you on a very safe route. And then I went at another place in Holland. I chose to go on an e-bike tour, which was really nice. So we got to go through the hillsides and the areas, but because it was an e-bike, I didn't have to do all that pedaling. It kind of kicked into gear and took over when we were going up a hill.
Oh,
so
nice.
I got my exercise, but it wasn't like overwhelming.
At the end, you're like, oh my gosh, get me back.
So,
Yeah.
and it was kind of nice because halfway through the tour, I think it was about 5 kilometers, halfway through we got to stop and we had a beer tasting
Oh, how cool,
in
yeah.
a cute little town, and it was just, we were welcomed with open arms. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, that sounds really, really nice.
Could you tell us what is all included into the river cruise when you book it, what you get with all of that?
Absolutely. You know, these
that's
days,
important
I know
for everybody,
everybody's,
yeah.
oh, I want an all-inclusive.
Yeah.
And what we've really done is blended luxury with comfort, and our clients say there's just the right amount of inclusions. Every morning, of course, there's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And on each of the meals, we have sparkling wine with breakfast, and then lunch and dinner, we have both beer and wine available for clients, free-flowing. Every evening, there is a happy hour where liquor is half price. For example, I love my red wine. So a red wine normally is about €6 if you plan to drink more than breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If you want to continue into the evening, it's €6 for a glass of wine. But during happy hour, and happy hour kind of lasts even more than an hour, it's only €3. So when you go home, you're not going to have a gigantic bar bill like you'll see at, you know, on some of the big ship cruises. We have all your meals. We have lots of onshore inclusions, all of the touring. We do have some optionals if you want to bump up what the things you want to see and do that you can purchase, but honestly, There are so many included excursions, you're really not going to be bored at all. As well, we have the opportunity for clients that want to do things on their own. We have something called the Avalon Go app in 2019. And that is like having a tour guide in your pocket. I don't know if you've seen this. It's downloadable to both iPhones and Androids. And it has all your information for the cruise. It's got every
Port as such?
every port, information about the ports, where the best coffee is. But the neatest thing, and what I really need when I go off on my own, it has virtual reality navigation back to the ship.
That's nice.
So you're not going to get lost, and you're not going to have.
That is great.
There
Yeah.
usually isn't a language barrier. Usually you can find somebody that speaks English, but you just feel more comfortable knowing that you've got the directions right there in your pocket.
Thank you very much.
I
Take me
know,
home. Yeah,
I
but
know.
do it. Yeah.
Something else that's new for 2019 is we have an adventure host and adventure center. And what that means is anything that a client would need off the ship or on the ship is available to them to check out, and it's free of charge. They've got bikes and helmets and yoga mats and Fitbits and walking sticks and picnic blankets and binoculars. So anything that you would need to do things on your own is available for checkout. We also have a new adventure host on board, and she's there to help people with their decisions. You know, I want to go on this hike, but could you tell me a little bit more about it? You know, what is the elevation? How many steps are there? How many miles am I going to be going? So she's going to really help people with their decisions when it comes to active touring, and she'll be on a lot of the active touring as well. We really try and make the cruise something that, you know, people can really make the cruise their own. They can cruise their own way, and we give them the best views in river cruising. That's really our mantra, and that's what people can really count on.
How many passengers are typically on a ship?
That's really important. It depends which ship we have. In Europe, it's either 133 or 166, and that is way down from most river cruise companies have about 198, 199. So that's where you get more space. In the Ganges, which is one of our new cruises for 2019, we're going to India. It's a 12-night cruise, and that particular cruise ship, it's a little bit more intimate. It's 56 passengers on board.
Wow, that is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really get to know the people that you're with.
Exactly. That's going to be a really, really exciting tour for 2019. You get to go to Jaipur and Agra and Delhi while you're on land, and then you take a 6-night cruise through India, ending in Calcutta. And one of the neat tours at the end in Calcutta is you get to see the childhood home of Mother Teresa. So it's really something for everybody. You also get to meet somebody that makes saris and really local favorites that you're not going to find on any other cruise. We also go to the Galapagos and on the Amazon. So those are smaller ships as well. On the Mekong, if somebody wants to go back and see Cambodia and Vietnam, it's a beautiful way to do it. There's only 18 cabins on board. That particular ship has 36 passengers.
So that's even smaller yet.
It is, but you know what? All of them on the Mekong and in Europe have that wide open balcony,
Okay.
and it's actually, on the Mekong, the cabins are 245 square feet.
Ooh.
And in Europe, we have one of the largest river cruise cabins. It's 200 square feet.
Wow. Okay, so this is going to be really hard to narrow down where you want to go.
One a year.
You win. Yeah. I mean, it's just so many great choices. And sometimes if you haven't done a lot of traveling, you think, well, I'm just going to do something really out of the box. I'm going to go to the Galapagos or something. You know, and other people might say, well, you know, I haven't seen anything. I want to go to Europe and see the things that we've, you know, become familiar with over the ages. But it really would be a very hard choice, and a river cruise might be certainly the way to go. Or if you're not comfortable, I think some people do are concerned about, like, are they going to be well on a boat, you know, on a ship? You know, are you going to be moving around?
Yes,
but
yeah.
you're not doing that. You're not moving around like that on a river cruise.
On a river cruise, you're not going to feel any even gentle rocking. Sometimes they cruise at night, sometimes they cruise during the day. We have people that will go on their first river cruise, and it's usually a 7-night cruise, but then they come back and they do, like we have a brand new cruise called Enchanted Europe. It's 16 days where they're really going to see all over Europe. They're going to be in Vienna and Budapest and Passau and all kinds of places. So there are a lot of choices. I would say if it's your first river cruise, maybe choose a 7-night cruise. But the beauty of working with the Globus family of brands, you know, you're paying for an air ticket. Kathy can also get you set up with a tour beforehand or afterward. You can go on a Monograms if you like to tour on your own, or if you prefer an escorted tour, you can absolutely do that. When I was on Paris to Normandy, I flew after the cruise to Berlin and did a tour all over Germany, a coach tour that was absolutely fabulous. So it's very seamless working with the Globus family brands. We can kind of...
You could put things together. If you do a Globus tour, you can tack on a Monograms to that, and it just continues on with your trip longer, and it gives you a different way of touring again, because you're more on your own with Monograms, and they work very well. I mean, we've had quite a few people do them. It works extremely well.
Okay.
As Globus too. I mean, everybody.
Yeah. So while you're over there, just make sure you're doing all the things you want to do, and you can hook on one thing to another. That sounds...
Yeah, you can.
Check
really
off a
good.
few bucket list items,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Right.
Well, Sharon, thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to tell us about the Globus brand or the Avalon River Cruises or anything before we go?
One quick thing, you guys also offer air too.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Sorry, just to throw that in, because I know that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they offer air with their packages too. And that's a great help right there, because it's all like
Put together. Yeah, all put together. So
And it makes it much easier.
You don't have to do any of the planning and thinking where you're worried about connections and so forth. That makes it easy.
Right.
Yeah.
The logistics are handled. We can do start to finish, and you can have as much help on it as you want. My recommendation is definitely work with Kathy. She has done all the training. She has been on some of the tours, so it's nice to have somebody at home. And that's definitely, whether it's Avalon or Globus or Monograms or something else, we do have tours all over the world except for the Caribbean. So you still need to go to Kathy for the Caribbean too. But I just... No matter what, I think 96% of our clients want to cruise with us again, so that says a lot. We have all kinds of awards, but that is our favorite, hearing from our clients that they'd like to cruise with us again.
Absolutely, and then those satisfied clients tell others, and
Absolutely.
that's the way you do
Word of mouth
well.
is the
Word of mouth
best.
is,
Yeah.
what was your experience?
Exactly, yeah.
So check it out. And speaking of Kathy, why don't you give us your address and
Sure.
phone number?
Okay, we're Class Act Travel. The address is 6946 West 111th Street in Worth, on the corner of 111th and Worth Avenue. Our phone number is 708-448-6560. We do have a Facebook page. We are on the internet, all that kind of good stuff. So just check us out and watch television. We're there too, guys.
That's right. So thank you again, Sharon, for sharing
It's my
all this great information. And you go out, get a hold of Kathy, do some touring, enjoy yourself, dream big. You only go around once. Might as well go big. See you next time on our travel show. Thanks for watching us. Bye.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.